Hello there. Hello one, hello all. Welcome to another Brit and Twit fan fiction read.
Hello.
Emily, say hi.
Hi everyone. Welcome to another one of these.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's as fun as the last one.
It really makes me feel terrible that I've read more fan fiction in the last 6 months than I've read anything.
Any book?
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so last time we read a rather immature, silly that was Harry Potter as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Harry Potter self-insert fan fiction. Yeah.
Harry Potter meets Twilight meets I can't
Something.
spell.
Yeah, there were vampires and goths. Let us not forget. And this is the complete opposite. It should be completely wholesome, no jiggery pokery whatsoever.
Yeah.
And hello, people in the chat. Hi,
Yes.
Dale.
Hello, Dale, Mike, Mark, Troy. Hello. You guys are having quite a battle out there. We are unable to put this on the screen, but if you would like to join us, I will post the link right there in the chat, so you aren't lost. Just a little anxious because the computer's been on the fritz a little bit, and I don't know how. I know this is awfully. From what I understand, this is it's a mother that made this, but she wanted to make it so that it was Christian friendly or something like that, right? Yeah. So I don't know how much. Like I don't want to mock any religion, despite what we're doing now. What we're reading here is fiction.
I think we can agree that making Harry Potter Christian is missing the point.
Right. I just want people to know that we're not making fun of any religion here. We're not having a laugh at any religion.
No.
We're having fun with what somebody's done with a character. So that needs to be said outright.
Yes.
Yeah. Time for a cold one. What's up, 543 Deadhead? What's up, Tim? Yeah. So a mother decided that Harry Potter was too edgy, and decided to make a Harry Potter for her and her Christian friends to enjoy. And I don't know if you think Harry Potter isn't wholesome enough. We're gonna have fun with this one.
Yeah.
Once again, I'll post the link here. If any of you do plan on reading along, please tell me. Otherwise, we will wait for the all clear, and then we'll get started. Depending on how long the chapters are.
We might have to split this into a couple
this
videos.
isn't going to happen all at once.
Yeah.
I was going to say that outright. Maybe we'll do like I don't know. Depending on how long the chapters are, we'll casually say 5 and see how that goes. But you know. This is,
so,
go ahead.
So I'm seeing this is rated Fiction K, which according to the site means content suitable for most ages. So this is going to be very wholesome, nothing untoward. So there's some kind of blurb here that says, "Do you want your little ones to read books, semicolon, and they want to read the Harry Potter books, semicolon, but you do not want them to turn into witches? Well, this is the story for you. This story has all the adventure of JKR's books, semicolon, but will not lead your children astray. For concerned mommies everywhere, blessings, Grace Ann."
Yes.
Isn't that nice?
Sure. The author's name is Grace Ann. There's no last name. Credit where it's due. Again, we're not stealing anybody's material. We're reading material that is out there for free. And actually, we don't even have it up this time, so even less reason to throw a stink. Family friendly, you mean, or is Christian friendly a thing? Excellent question, Troy.
I don't know.
Is there a difference? Yeah, because what would a Muslim family consider family friendly? That's good point. Good point.
I want to know what the prevalence is of J.K. Rowling's readers turning into witches. Has anyone done a study on this? Or
Yeah, what?
I think I don't know. But when I went to school, I think a lot of girls had a witchy phase. But it's not quite the devil worship that Christian mothers clutch their pearls about.
It baffles me that mothers who were children at one point and grew up with material like fail to realize what fiction is. Like this, let's say this woman in her late 20s, perhaps. That means
Well, like my age?
no, when Harry Potter came out. So that means when she was a child, things like Harry Potter was out. Did she think that because Back to the Future, I did it backwards. But Back to the Future was out back in her day as a young kid. Does the fact that Back to the Future exists make her think that time travel is possible?
I mean, I think we can agree time travel is also the devil and should be excised at the earliest possible opportunity. You can't be letting kids be traveling through time. That's illegal.
Yeah, it's just like, it's fiction. Why is some fiction completely okay and some fiction is we gotta burn the books and make a different version, like Pureflix. There is this documentary, Emily, of a I don't know if it is Pureflix, but it's a company like Pureflix where they had editors, and what they would do is edit out all the curses, all the nudity, all the violence, and you could watch edited versions of Die Hard without any of the cursing,
Without the violence.
without any of the cursing, violence, nudity.
I've heard of an edited version of Showgirls with MS Paint bras added in post and badly dubbed alternatives to the swears, but I haven't actually seen it with my own eyes. I imagine that's quite something to behold.
Shit, Skyman is watching from the hospital with kidney stones. Hey, take another pump for me. Just feel better, huh? That's rough. I hope they gave you the fucking pump, because then that really sucks.
Yeah, hope you're doing okay, Sky.
Yeah, hang in there. That's
Yeah.
rough. That's quite shitty. Yeah. Way to bring us down, bro.
It's not possible to bring us down. Have you seen?
No, you're not
everything?
going to talk about the real world. We're
Alright,
in
alright,
Harry
alright.
Potter land for Christians, so this is like super forever away.
I'm dying to know. All right, can I start reading the author's notes?
Yes, go ahead.
How are we going to do this, by the way? Are you going to do the male voices as before, or do you want to take turns with chapters?
You
Or?
tell me when you get tired, because
Okay.
I'm
Like-
realizing I need more and more glasses. I need all the glasses. I just
You need to stack
I
them?
just fucking
How's it going, 6 eyes?
yeah. What? This actually looks kind of sexy. I'm gonna rock this till it becomes a thing.
Ooh, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit. I'm mildly turned on. Let's shut down this stream.
Bye, guys. Tim says, can we get the Emily Watches Die Hard instead of this? We could do both. I think that was
Yeah.
sort of the plan at some point anyway.
We owe. I think we owe 3 screenings, and one of which is at least 2 years old. John Steele paid and wanted us to watch Repossession, which I told him is hard to find, and he was going to try to alleviate that situation. Felix has what the fuck? I always got to look at the title.
We are bad content creators.
Bubba the Redneck Werewolf. That is on request and paid for. And
Sky, we've actually already done My Immortal. If you're interested, we've uploaded them separately. I think the first one is on your channel, isn't it? Then the second one is mine. The third one is on Brit The Twit.
Yeah, they're supposed to. That's my fault. I'll get all of them to the Brit and Twit channel, so it's easier to just watch in one place.
Yeah. That sounds
yeah,
good.
that was that.
That's a fun time. I'd go back and watch those videos when I need to cheer up.
I cried a little bit. I laughed so hard at some of that shit. That was hysterical. Stop flamming. So.
All right. So author's note.
I can go. It's gonna slow me down, but if you need a break, I'll just let me know and I'll tag in.
Sure. All right. Author's note. Hello, friends. My name is Grace Ann. I'm new to this whole fanfiction thing. Oh no. But recently I've encountered a problem that I believe this is the solution to. My little ones have been asking to read the Harry Potter books, and of course I'm happy for them to be reading, but I don't want them turning into witches. So I thought, many dots, why not make some slight changes so these books are family friendly? And then I thought, why not share this with all the other mommies who are facing the same problem? So ta-da, here it is. I'm so excited to share this with all of you. So without further ado, and then it goes into
It's a don't, stupid. Spelling check already. Emily, if you wanna take a toot break, just kind of give me a sign.
All right, thank you. I remember back in my emo days that was floating around. Yeah, I think my friends had an emo phase. I was adjacent to the emo phase, so I definitely remember some
Oh, you were emo adjacent?
Yes.
Emo
We'd
curious?
have PE lessons where we were supposed to be doing badminton, but we'd just sit at the edge of the badminton court, and my friends would talk about their Gerard Way, Mikey Way / fiction that they'd written, which was fairly bizarre.
I want you guys to see the support for my back, just how full a pillow it is.
We have other pillows. Go get a
I just want people to understand that this chair is fucked, and now the lumbar support is. It's I don't know. It's a bag. It's essentially a bag.
That's what you get if you look up pillow. It says a soft, feathery bag.
Try a bunch of socks instead, dickhead.
Funny you're all doing this as I'm rereading the Harry Potter books currently. Good. I wish I could do that, but they're back in England. So, all right, without further ado. Should we go ahead? Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Harry Potter who lived under the stairs in a house on Privet Drive with his aunt and uncle. He was a good, obedient boy who did all his chores, sort of minimizing the abuse, are we not? But he felt that there was something missing in his life. Yeah, decent upbringing.
Gayness?
Something big and special. Huh?
I said gayness?
I'm sure we'll get to that. But he could not quite name it. He stayed up every night and wished for this special something. But then one day there was a knock at his door and everything changed. Answer the door, Harry! His Aunt Petunia, a career woman, barked from her arm.
A career woman? Is that polite for prostitute? What does career woman mean?
We just assume that she's a high-class hooker. No, this is the good, clean, family-friendly version. None of that.
Career woman.
She had short, curly blonde hair and never wore any makeup. It's unrealistic for a career gal. Uncle Vernon nodded sheepishly from the kitchen and put a tray of moist, chocolatey brownies in the oven. Are they moist already? Wait, they're moist already.
Yeah.
He hasn't baked them yet.
Shouldn't it be more soupy than anything in the...
Yeah. I'm concerned about these brownies.
Shitty yogurt-like.
Shouldn't you be doing that? Harry thought. Oh. Fight. But he was a very obedient young boy, so he answered the door right away. He turned the brass metal doorknob and pulled open the heavy wooden door. It's in detail, this. On the porch was standing a huge muscular man with a big manly beard, gayness incoming, and he was dressed in a is this plaid or plaid?
Plaid, yeah.
And he was dressed in a plaid red shirt, blue jeans, and sturdy leather boots. Is this going to be Hagrid? His chest was covered in a thick, unruly carpet of coarse brown hair.
Unruly?
Which Harry immediately noticed. He wore a necklace that looked to Harry like a lowercase t.
What?
We can't allude to the fact that it's a crucifix right away.
Looks like a T.
This reminds me of there's a passage in Twilight when Bella looks up at the sky and there are flakes of white coming from the clouds. Before eventually someone says, "It's snowing!" Like... Thank you. Just looking at Harry felt peaceful, happy somehow, but he couldn't say why.
You're doing her a favor because it says just looking at Harry,
Yeah.
Harry feel happy.
Just as Draco kissed me passionately.
Harry feel happy. Looking at Harry feel happy, peaceful somehow. I'm sorry.
Good morning, kiddo. The man greeted amiably and smiled at Harry. He had the peaceful, friendly sort of face you just knew you could trust.
Really?
Oh, my name's Hagrid. Could I speak to your mummy and daddy? Oh, shouldn't you be doing this voice? You want to do the dude's voices?
No. All right.
No. Okay. Well, you don't have to.
I don't. Oh wait. Yeah. No. Good.
Okay. I don't have a mommy or daddy, Harry replied sadly, and looked at his raggedy old shoes that were blue. Thank you. Perhaps that was why he felt so lonely, he thought. Not for the first time. Maybe that was what he was missing, a mommy and daddy.
An orphan?
But no, that was not quite right. Thank you for wasting
What's
our time.
an orphan again?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Wait. What's an orphan again?
It was my silly way of saying orphan. Oh, an orphan, you know.
I forget.
What's an otter? It's not an otter. I'm so sorry to hear that, Hagrid uttered empathetically. Empathetically, is he an orphan? I don't think. No, anyway.
Sympathetic.
You can speak with my auntie and uncle, Harry retorted politely, and blinked his big, blue, childlike eyes. Very childlike his eyes were, because he was a child. What do you want? Aunt Petunia peered out the door with her narrow, suspicious eyes. Not remotely childlike. And she was wearing a baggy, unflattering pantsuit. So maybe being a career woman is bad in this universe. It's just sort of the subtle that Harry thinks she should go back to the kitchen. Maybe she should, you know, maybe. I don't know.
Alright, so yeah.
Why are all fictional characters orphans? Because involving parents is a bit of a ball ache, according to most authors. Like, if your kid wants to go to a magic school, there's not like, oh, actually my parents will have something to say about that, and, you know, maybe, I don't know, it's just easier if everyone's an orphan.
Tell that to Jason Voorhees.
But he wasn't. He was a single mom, you know, she did her best.
He just wasn't a very good swimmer.
No. Hello, neighbor. I was wondering if you've been saved.
Oh.
Hagrid exclaimed brightly, here we go, and tipped his wide-brimmed straw cowboy hat. So this guy he was wearing plaid leather boots, now a cowboy hat as well. I'm just imagining giant 8-foot-tall Robbie Coltrane dressed as a cowboy. That's quite the mental image. No makeup, wearing a trash bag suit. That is much better, yes. Real women look pretty for their husbands at home. Aunt Petunia laughed a gravelly laugh and leaned forward on her sturdy, practical boots. Lots of adjectives.
Yeah.
Nice. Nicely done, Grace Ann. Saved? Don't tell me you're one of those Christians. Harry did not know what that word meant, but Hagrid's smile was the most peaceful smile he had ever seen. It made Harry feel warm and happy inside, just seeing the glowing, radiant grin on the kind, friendly stranger's face. It really does feel like this is the first person Harry ever fell in love with, and that's going to be the story
Please,
here.
please let it be.
What can their ship name be? Harry Grid? Hargrid? Hargrid? Sorry.
Harry.
And with that, I'm out, says Tim. Yeah, I don't blame
Harry.
him. He wondered why Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon did not smile like that, because they haven't been saved of. Yes, I am, Hagrid replied kindly. Are you? Aunt Petunia laughed again and stuck her pointy, sharp nose up in the air. It's like someone told Great Anne she had to include 2 adjectives with every noun that she put. Yeah. We are too smart for that. Haven't you read Dawkins? God is dead. Dawkins proved that.
Always have to be in Christian propaganda.
I don't know.
Just like why is the opposite of a Christian an atheist, and only that?
Not just the atheist. There has to be the most embittered, cynical.
Yeah. No, God's dead. God forbid they bit.
Like the professor in that movie of the same name.
The professor?
If God is real, why did he let my 10-year-old get run over by a car? Now explain that.
Good question. I just feel like that goes so hard. Like if you made it difficult and actually built around that would be entertaining. Like, oh, he's actually Jewish, so how do we deal with this? Or he's agnostic, he's not sure. How do we deal with this? But no, God is dead!
I killed him. God is dead. Dawkins proved that. Would you like us to educate you on the Dawkins? The Dawkins. What is a Christian? Harry queried innocently and scuffed his shoe on the shaggy yellow carpet. You should take a drink every time there's 2 adjectives for every noun
in a sentence. Carpet.
Not just any carpet. It's a shaggy yellow carpet, which had not been vacuumed in quite some time because Petunia is too busy having a career.
Being a woman.
Yeah. Thank you for your contribution, Manhammer. Where was I? Shit.
Descending
Christians are people who want to be good, Hagrid explained wisely. Remember when Dumbledore was crying wisely in My Immortal? That was my favourite. And crouched down so he was on eye level with Harry, which is some feat given how tall he fucking is. We want to go to heaven after we die. Do you know what heaven is, Harry? Harry shook his head and his big eyes were wide and curious. That's 3 adjectives, well done. Heaven is a beautiful place where we can be with God.
Oh, heaven is a place with God. Oh, sorry.
Aunt Petunia... Ooh, Hogwarts is a place... Aunt Petunia smacked her hands over Harry's young ears. Whoa. It'd be weird if they were old ears. And her voice was sickly sweet when she said, Thank you very much for your concern, sir, but he does not need your religion. He has science and socialism and birthdays.
Socialism? What the fuck?
Wait, birthdays are evil now? I didn't know that was a thing. Is that a, what is it called?
He has science, socialism, and birthdays.
That's the trifecta.
So fucking weird.
Haven't you heard of evolution? I have a very good textbook on evolution that I could give you on it if you would like to learn things. This is like reverse, like door-to-door proselytizing. Like someone's turned up at her door and she's like, have you heard the good news about Dawkins? Giving it away for free. Hagrid laughed wisely, not crying wisely. Evolution is a fairy tale. You don't really...
I could use some Christianity, although I'm a Marxist. Am I still up for it? And also I don't like birthdays either, but I am against Flag Day, so how are we doing? Sorry.
It's okay. Evolution's a fairy tale. You don't really believe that, do you? Yes, I do, Aunt Petunia screeched. Well, then prove it. Aunt Petunia could only stare at him, and her big mouth hung open dumbly. Here she thought she was so educated, and always demanded that Christians prove what they believed in, but she couldn't even prove her own religion. Google, isn't it? It was then that Harry knew who the smart one here was. Oh, the fucking... There's some things to unpack there. I don't know. Like...
Who won?
I don't know. Well, first of all, Aunt Petunia... Has she read Dawkins? I feel like most people in her position would be able to defend, at least be like, hey, fossils, or something. Like, nothing? She's got really nothing?
Yeah.
But second of all, I really don't like that in such pieces of this, it always comes down to, owned that guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is not an intelligent debate, is it? This is...
No, it's just I dunked on some dude who's a socialist because that has everything to do with Christianity.
Serves you right for having a birthday.
Socialism. Wait a minute. If there ever was a way that Christ would be all about, it would be everything for everybody the same.
Yeah, he was all about that, wasn't he?
If ever there was somebody who was a socialist, it was Jesus Christ.
He loved everyone alike, didn't he? Hookers, the taxmen, the homeless guys on the street. Didn't matter. He was...
Hey, Jesus, how do you feel about capitalism and the trickle-down economics? How do you feel about that? Where 1% of the country can have about 50% of the entire world's wealth. That's right? That's the way to do things. See, it's trickle-down economics. It eventually gets to them. Jesus, hello?
Jesus braiding a leather whip furiously.
Wouldn't you rather have a bunch of fish to feed people instead of having one and then having to do all that magic and stuff? We have fish. We sell fish.
A very reasonable priced fish. Anyway, tell me how to get to this heaven place, Harry cried wistfully, clasping his hands together. Sometimes the wisdom of little ones is really amazing, said the author, breaking character. We think we grown-ups know it all, but then God speaks through the mouths of little ones and shows us how we are all mortals struggling along the path of life. Humility. That's the whole sentence there. Humility. It should be in brackets, like an author's note, just humility. All you have to do is be saved. Do you want to be saved? I do, Harry squealed, jumping up and down. Manners. Then pray the sinner's prayer.
Jesus. How do you know he's a sinner?
I will dictate it to you now.
Quit fornicating, and then maybe we can get started. How does he know he's a sinner?
Hagrid packing away his chest hurriedly.
The sinner's prayer. Fucking kid, you don't know if he's done anything wrong.
Aunt Petunia tried to stop him, but she was powerless against Harry's pure, innocent, holy energy.
Oh.
Ooh. Soon Harry had said the prayer,
also,
which he
he's
knew,
a sinner.
even though he doesn't know what heaven is. Hagrid beamed happily. You're a Christian now, Harry, Hagrid cried proudly and doused him in unicorn blood. Harry smiled, but then interrogated with a lamp. But how do I be a Christian? I don't know how. Hagrid grinned widely. There's only one place to learn that. Actually, there's 3 places, canonically. England, France, and for some reason Bulgaria. 3 places to learn. Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. Author's note. So, what do you all think? I may not be a professional writer, but I think I'm being given the talent to pull this off in service of a greater mission.
A greater
Blessings,
mission. What, to shit on?
Should we take that to mean that God is granting you the ability to be a terrific author?
Yes, she's saved. She's saved. She's not some birthday celebrating socialist. So...
Oh, God forbid. Blessings, Grace Ann. Well, that's wholesome and well-meaning anyway. All right, on to chapter 2.
Wait.
Chapter 2 is called New Horizons.
Oh, yes. Give it to me.
So, at this point in the book, I believe Hagrid takes Harry to Diagon Alley to get himself a wand and other sinful apparatus. So, alright, author's note. Hello friends, I've been getting so many lovely thankful messages from mommies everywhere, and I just wanted to say thank you for all your encouragement. However, I've also been getting several stop flamming. I've also been getting several messages saying that my story is bad because Harry Potter is not just about witches. It's also about friendship and kindness and bravery. Friends. This is exactly what I've been saying. Harry Potter has many good things about it, but it still has witchcraft, so my children cannot read it. But that is why I'm writing this, so they can have all the adventure and good morals of the Harry Potter books without all that bad stuff that's bogging it down. I mean, Matthew 3:12, am I right?
Can't you just take out...
Like we're supposed to...
Wait, why can't you just take out the witchcraft and just have it be a story about three friends? Why does Jesus Christ have to be involved? And socialism. And birthdays.
I'm just looking up Matthew 3:12. He is ready to separate the chaff from the wheat with his winnowing fork. So basically filtering out all the devil worship, etc. Okay. I don't know, I'm not very good with the Bible. Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles, Harry queried, and clasped his hands, having already clasped his hands. Just at hearing that name, he felt such a sense of inner peace. He wanted to have more of that peace, and he wanted to learn how to be a good Christian. He was starting to think that peace and being a good Christian were in fact the exact same thing. I want to go there! To the Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. Hagrid
beamed widely.
Hagrid beamed widely. He had been praying so hard to save a soul today, just going on his merry way going, I wish I could... I've got a real hankering for some... Yeah. And he was so happy to have saved the soul of such a sweet, earnest little one. The poor boy, being raised by two parents who were not Christian, and who both went to work.
Death sentence.
And left him with a babysitter all day long. Okay, so, I mean, that's a step up from keeping him in the cupboard. Oddly enough. But she could very well have written that atheists just keep their children under the stairs, but didn't. It was a good thing Hagrid had got there in time. 5 years down the road, Harry might have been a fornicating, drug-addicted evolutionist.
What the fuck? Now I'm bringing drugs into it?
15? Yeah.
Fornicating, drug-addicted evolution.
In 5 years? What is he, 10 years old? That's how long it takes. Jesus Christ.
Oh, by the way, I listen to Fish now, too, by the way.
Isn't it great how dinosaurs existed? Now come suck my dick. Don't be silly, Harry, Aunt Petunia commanded, and wrung her long, bony hands. Drink. Come back inside. I will read you about evolution from the Dawkins. Again, the Dawkins. You do not need that silly religion. Harry scrunched up his innocent little face and thought very hard. Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon were as close to parents as he had, and this was the only home he knew. Could he really leave? But he was saved now. Can't stay. He had prayed the sinner's prayer. He could not stay here, not anymore, not with what he knew now. No punctuation. Suddenly he knew what he had to do. No, Aunt Petunia, he uttered calmly with childlike wisdom. That was 3 different descriptors there. That was...
Bit of an oxymoron, too. Childlike wisdom.
But from the mouths of babes. Weren't you listening? Evolution is not real, and I'm going to Hogwarts. No, Harry, Aunt Petunia screeched desperately. I have an idea. You can have a second birthday today. You like birthdays, right?
How about socialism? You want some more socialism?
What is it with birthdays? I don't understand. Okay, second birthday. Birthdays are not of God, Harry verbalized knowingly, just having a guess, and looked at his aunt with an innocent wisdom. Again, kind of oxymoron. You tried to corrupt me, but it did not work. But I forgive you, Aunt Petunia, because of Luke 23:34.
How would he know
like,
what Luke 23:34 is if he's never heard of Christianity?
That's how the sinner's prayer works. It just, like, the entirety of the Bible straight into... It's like that thing in The Matrix where suddenly Keanu Reeves knows Kung Fu. It's just like that. But with Jesus. Hagrid was amazed once again at the wisdom of little ones. He did not know if he could forgive someone who had hurt him as much as this woman had hurt little Harry. Well, you're going to have to, aren't you? What are you going to do, murderer? Deny him the truth? Who could be so cruel? A car crash killed Lily and James Potter. But Harry did not even think twice about it. He forgave, just like that. Truly, Hagrid gained a new understanding of Matthew 19:14 that day. I like that they're just thrown in, like, references. Like, yeah, we all know what that means, right? Good old Luke 23:34. Oh, Brian is not going to be happy with this. Do not leave, Harry, Dudley wailed childishly, who's suddenly in the story. I don't think he's been mentioned even once up to this point. Just wanders into the room. Don't leave!
Who are you? Well, I'm here to tell you not to leave.
I must, Harry said, and stepped over the threshold. Goodbye, Dursleys. I hope you are saved too one day. And with that, he and Hagrid began to walk down Private Drive. Private Drive, excuse me. Hagrid shouldn't be anywhere near it if it's private. How will we get to this school, Hagrid? Harry queried curiously. Yeah, I'm imagining flying motorcycles aren't going to be a thing in this. What do you think it's going to be? Place your bet. We will pray, Hagrid retorted knowledgeably. How do we do that? Harry solicited inquisitively. Watch, Hagrid said, and then got down on his knees on the road. He motioned for Harry to get down on his knees too. Hagrid raised his hands to the heavens and cried out. I don't think I like this story anymore. In a deep, thunderous voice. Dear Lord, take us to Hogwarts. Harry felt himself being whisked away, and in a moment, he was sitting in the cool, damp grass outside a humongous, beautiful castle. He looked in awe at the tall towers and the grey stones. So this is... It's not magic, obviously, but it's the Lord's divine intervention. It's
actually doing more harm to Christianity than...
You think?
Than a Bible or something would tell them. Yeah, because this book says all you gotta do is pray and ask to go to Hogwarts and you'll go.
Yeah. Like, Jesus isn't a bus. He doesn't just... this woman, I'm sure her heart was in the right place, but this is...
You don't need the religious part. You could have 3 friends that are friends.
Yes.
That are going to school together. You could do it so much easier just without the which.
When I was a kid, I read something called The Angel at Nitshall Road, and it was about this girl who was implied angelic, who turns up and she just completely solves the bullying problem at school.
Yes.
And it didn't feel the need to be overly religious or preachy. It was just like, oh, this girl's kind of really special. She's got this insight, fucking problem solving. Teaching how to be a decent human being. I don't know, it was well done. It can be done, is what I'm saying. Alright, so what a beautiful place. A tall, thin man with a long pointed beard and big wire spectacles, God, stood in front of Harry. He was wearing a brown tweed suit and a nice matching hat. We've done away with all the wizard garb, and I still don't understand why Hagrid is a cowboy. They don't really... Okay, but he's a big, hairy cowboy, fair enough. And now we've got this man in tweed. His shoes were made of leather and polished until they shone. Lots of leather. He had a smile much like Hagrid's smile. So peaceful. Harry just knew he could trust him.
Yeah, you should trust anyone who smiles.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I teach your kid.
Yeah. Hello, kid. You want to come and meet my puppies?
No, the van's right there. Just come with me real quick.
Oh, dear. Okay, so Hungry Boy in the comments says, chat, whatever, says, I don't think the author of this fan fiction has ever met a Quaker. Quakers are disallowed from proselytizing. That's a good point. Interesting. I think the birthday thing, it might be a Seventh-day Adventist or a, who are the guys who don't allow blood transfusions? It might be one of those. So one of the newer, I don't want to say sects, but
Mormons?
Possibly. Like I've met a few of them in my time. People who come to the door and get your name as quick as possible, so they can give their speech and work it in as much as possible. Like there's method to their madness.
Door to door.
They have the
shit. What? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Why have I forgotten who they are?
Doing exactly this, spreading the good word, kind of thing.
Yeah. Have you heard the good word? Oh. Yes. Bye.
A lovely, kindly young woman with flowing blonde hair and a pleasant, heart-shaped face stood beside this holy man. Okay. Hello there, little one, the man greeted amicably. I am the Reverend Albus Dumbledore, and this is my wife, Minerva. Oh, that's interesting. So these two are married now, and I guess Minerva has been de-aged. Why they did this, I'm not sure. Canonically, Dumbledore isn't interested in any of the female staff. But
He's gay!
Yeah, but we can't have that. That's not Christian, so...
Christian scientists disallow blood transfusions. Jeez.
Yeah. So... Yeah, there's a... Okay, well... welcome to Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. Author's note, blessings. That's...
Aww.
That's chapter 2.
So there's a total of 14. We'll do 2 more. We'll end after 4. Okay, so 2 more. This is the second to last chapter.
Okay. Author's note. Oh, this chapter is called Dinner Time with an exclamation point.
Where do you see that? Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, probably not going to be house elves in this version. I don't know who's preparing the Hogwarts meals or even what's going to happen in this place, but yeah. This should be interesting. Okay. Author's note. Hello friends, I have struggled a lot about whether or not to keep going with this story, but with a lot of praying, my husband and I have decided it is the right thing to do. We want our little ones to have good Christian literature, to read, and in this modern world sometimes that can be hard to come by, so I will just have to make do. What are you doing on the internet, by the way? Like, I don't know, is that... If you're... I'm sure there's
If you want
Christian
them to
literature
have
out
good
there.
Christian literature to read, just make it Christian. Why do you have to take 2 things and like, why does Harry Potter have to be involved? Like, if...
This reminds me of... You won't have heard of this. There's a movie called The Legend of the Titanic. It's Italian, it's an animated feature, and it is based on the tragedy, the sinking of the Titanic. But it's got talking cartoon mice and dolphins in it, and they work in this plot about how whaling is evil. Which, that could have been its very own movie. They didn't have to bring in the deaths of hundreds of innocent real-life people.
Yeah.
This is pretty much the same thing, isn't it? Like, why... You make a good point. Make your own book and don't drag Harry into it.
You're like totally mixing shit. Like, I'm trying to think of a popular... What's a popular gay character?
Shore Leave from Venture Brothers? Yeah, he's not that popular. Ra from Stargate? I'm really struggling to think. Lafayette from True Blood?
Alright, so... I apologize to people who have something already in their head. But it's like taking Tootsie and taking out the cross-dressing part and making a different story. The whole thing about Tootsie is the fact that he's cross-dressing to get a job.
Yeah. Dr. Frankenfurter,
yeah. Very good job.
That's another good example. Thank you. How could I forget Frankenfurter? I mean, to be fair, he could have been making a woman, but that's not interesting, is it?
It just doesn't make sense.
If you take out the lingerie and the it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's like author clickbaiting is what it is. Look, Harry Potter, except it's for Christians.
I mean, it's fan fiction. You can write your own alternate universe if you want, but why would you? Okay, I'm gonna press on because
I
otherwise.
yearn for Sherlock and Holmes to just fuck. I said Sherlock and Holmes. I meant John Watson. I want Sherlock to fuck himself.
That probably exists too, you know.
Oh, there's plenty of that. Oh, yeah.
I want Star Wars, but it's an alternate universe where they work in a coffee shop. That's real too, by the way. That exists.
Yeah, just the cantina. That's it. Just a story about the cantina. Not much happens.
Pleased to meet you, Reverend Dumbledore, Harry replied enthusiastically, and got to his feet. This sure is a beautiful place you have here. The Reverend beamed. Why, thank you, little one. His voice had a distinctive southern twang to it that made Harry feel so safe and wholesome. I forgot. So this is a good old southern version of Harry Potter too. So it's not a castle in Scotland, I'm guessing, if everyone's southern. Or do you mean
it's
like
a
the south of England?
House.
Like. Why, thank you, little one. His voice had a distinctive southern twang to it that made Harry feel so safe and welcome. Leaving that one alone, he knew in this moment that the Reverend was a man of God. This poor little one was being raised in a terrible situation, Hagrid declared concernedly. He was watched by a babysitter every second of the day. His aunt saw him as part of her perfect life package. He's been spying on them through the window, hasn't he? Like the big house, the fancy career, the speedy car. Dumbledore shook his head sadly. Too bad no one told her. Parenting should be about the children, not the parents. That's why it's called parenting.
The fancy career is capitalism.
Yeah. I don't think single-income households have existed for some 40 years, have they?
Not by today's standards.
They got two kids. Granted, they don't want one of them. But
there's so many things like these little jabs that she's put throughout this story, like socialism, birthdays, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares about socialism? What are you doing putting that in there?
Grace-Anne, don't you want a career? Don't you want to be out in the real world, having your independence, making friends?
Yes.
I think she's bored. I think that's why she wrote this.
How well do you sleep at night, knowing that you voted for Donald Trump and still somehow he doesn't do any of the things that you project upon him?
All right, well, Hagrid nodded wisely. I'm really having trouble with Southern Dumbledore, but I have to continue down this path. Dumbledore turned to Harry and announced authoritatively, "Now you can start your classes tomorrow morning. Today you can get settled into your dormitory. But first, why don't you eat dinner with my family and me?" "Really?" Harry gasped excitedly. "I've never had a family dinner before." The poor boy.
You mean you can eat together?
And not in the cellar chained to a fucking wall? What a novel concept. I've never had hot food in my life. Dumbledore turned to Harry. Oh no, I've read that already. "Why don't you come with us then?" Dumbledore cried kindly. And then got down on his knees. Everyone else did the same. Raising his large, massive, manly hands up to the heavens. This is oddly specific about how manly everybody is. Perchance Grace-Anne is taking out some frustrations on this piece of literature. It happens. Dumbledore bellowed in a voice even louder than Hagrid's had been. "Lord, please take us to the kitchen." Again, using Jesus like a mode of transport.
Do you guys cool. Not walk or?
Jesus is up there trying to deal with plagues and stuff. Like, I'm busy. If you don't mind.
Lord, can you put the DVD into the DVD player, please? Thank you, Lord.
Suddenly they all found themselves in a tasteful, decorated kitchen. Wow! Harry shouted in awe. He was still getting used to the power of prayer. Sometimes we take the wonderful things the Lord gives us for granted, like teleportation, and it takes a newcomer to the fold for us to understand just how blessed we are. That was amazing! But, my foot didn't come with me. I've been splinched, I believe. Not to complain, but I would like my foot back. Hagrid smiled knowingly. God is an amazing guy. Yes, he is. He's just swell. He sure is, the Reverend's wife chuckled. No talking out of turn, before getting down to her knees and raising her own hands upwards. Dear Lord, please set the table with the sky blue cloth and the Sunday dishes, and please give us biscuits, fried golden brown and gravy, creamy mashed potatoes, my great Aunt Eleanor's corn casserole, corn on the cob slathered with butter, and for dessert some chocolate raspberry cookies.
So wait a minute. So this book is telling you that Hogwarts is some bizarre heaven?
They've enslaved Jesus.
Yeah, like
like the house elf.
It sounds like you ever have that dream where you have everything? They make it sound like going to fucking Hogwarts is like winning lotto. Like, sweetheart, this is just...
Isn't this sloth?
Yeah. Hey, God, and raspberry cookies. Hey, don't burn them this time, huh? This.
Oh, you left the seeds in, Jesus. How could you? Imagine this in the movies. Oh, could you imagine? This stuff is really difficult to absorb despite the talents of our hosts. Is the author trying to turn Dumbledore into a Moses? I think so.
And again, we're not making fun of the religion.
No, if you happen to be Christian, that's fine. Yeah. I don't understand how a real Christian could have truck with this, is what we're saying.
We're taking the story that we're given and working with it. Because what I know of Christianity has nothing to do with asking the Lord for set the table with sky blue cloth, Sunday dishes, and please give us biscuits, fried gold brown, and gravy, creamy mashed potatoes.
It's in detail, isn't it? Like...
my great Aunt Eleanor's corn casserole. Well, wait, how did God get Aunt Eleanor's corn casserole recipe? Or is that like a snake eating its own tail thing?
It's pre-established. Aunt Eleanor died several years ago from diabetes, I'm guessing.
But what is she doing making food if God can go ahead and set the table and do everything else? This is a lot.
I think... Okay, moving on. All of these things appeared on the table exactly as the Reverend's wife had asked for them. Masterfully prepared and delicious smelling. Harry's mouth dropped open. Mine would too, honestly. Truly, this woman was a real Proverbs 31 wife.
Why didn't you ask for $15 million?
Also, God, about those starving kids.
Yeah, you overdid it with the raspberry cookies. Maybe hit up Africa for a little bit and just swing by and...
Yeah. The bone cancer in children, I believe, is next on the agenda. If you have time. If you don't, that's okay. Hermione, the Reverend summoned loudly. Dinner time. I apologize for my southern accent. It's all over the place. Immediately, and with cheerful obedience, learn to obey, fucking females, an 11-year-old girl in a pretty pink dress with a matching bow came running down the stairs. I wonder if this girl is going to be bookish at all, or just like one particular book. I don't know, what do you think? She ran over to her father and gave him the winning smile that daughters have. Okay, so Hermione is Dumbledore's kid now. Is he still an old man? Is this just to prove how ungay he is? I just don't... Hermione had perfectly good parents. Granted, they were dentists, which I'm sure is another form of evil.
All I've heard is a winning smile. That's all I heard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Welcome home, Daddy, she smiled, and then turned to his wife, her mother, I presume.
What do you think?
Can I help at all with dinner, Mommy? Because I am a girl? It is all prepared, thanks be to God, her mother retorted gracefully. Hermione nodded knowingly. Okay. Hermione, I would like you to meet Harry Potter, our newest student at Hogwarts School of Prayers. I laugh every time I try to do Southern Dumbledore. School of Prayers and Miracles. Dumbledore introduced magnanimously. Harry, I would like you to meet Hermione Granger, my beloved daughter. Pleased to meet you, Hermione responded sweetly with an shy grin. You guys don't appear to be slamming Christendom at all. You're in a bind here, since in the USA alone there are over 7 major creeds of Christians who all disagree with each other. Yeah. Kind of sad that... No, I'm not even going to go into that.
Yeah,
but yes.
we're just making it clear that we're not,
Yeah. Let's come together as one to agree that this fan fiction is a little bit silly. Harry could barely respond. This was the most beautiful young woman he had ever come across. You're 10, so different from all the girls in public school, the sluts, who were focused on trying to be like the career women they saw on The Sex and the City.
How are they seeing this show? They don't know what eating at a table is, but they know The Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Wow, families eat together at a table?
I feel bad for all those pagan households who were raised by Dr. Television.
But before we leave, be sure God gets the check.
Yep, this little one was the picture of innocence and godliness. Now, Dumbledore pronounced genially, Lindsey, as the holy men, women, and little ones dug into the delicious manna, gravy, the Lord had granted them, the conversation amongst the adults turned to darker topics. What are we going to do about that Hagrid and his chest hair? Harry listened intently, and he did not understand it, but he was very interested. Dark days are coming, Hagrid pronounced gravely over a mouthful of casserole, strangely food-based this. Evil forces are coming into this world, and the little ones at Hogwarts may be our last resort. Psalm 127:5, Dumbledore referenced solemnly, and the others around the table nodded knowingly. Hogwarts might be the last hope for the forces of good in this world. Again, I feel it's a little reductive to just drop psalms and stuff in there when isn't this supposed to be teaching young people stuff? This is just like, and refer to something else, etc.
There's so much here that is just messy. It's just so messy and counterproductive. And
Dell says, families at a table, never saw that on Sex and the City. What are you talking about? They go to brunch constantly. They're always having food together. On a lighter note, our hosts are glowing today with fab Aw, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Much appreciated. Okay, next chapter, dangerous days ahead, exclamation point. Author's note. Hello, friends. I apologize for being gone for so long. One of my little ones came down with pneumonia.
I should have prayed it. If you prayed.
Dear Lord, please send us lots of gravy.
I know you're great with the food, but how are you with sick people? Because we kind of need one of those now.
Again, nothing against... I'm sorry this kid had pneumonia. So, of course, my life has been nothing but doctor's appointments and chicken soup. And that's on top of all the other work a mommy has to do. I had nearly... Do you think this is a troll as well? Is it slightly possible?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Well, there's a saying that goes something along the lines of, if you can conceive of an idea, it's probably existed at some point, or will exist, like Rule 34, but without the porn angle.
Yeah, there's just some stuff that it does seem like a Christian housewife who's I don't know what
Not been allowed to think a thought in their life.
Right, I don't know what branch of Christianity it is, but there's some people that think women are here to pop out kids, stay home,
be their husband's helpmeet, or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I can believe somebody writing this up. I can believe that. I can believe this as non-fiction fiction.
Yeah. Poor misguided. And that's on top of all the other work a mommy has to do. I had nearly forgotten about this little story of mine when I sat down to catch up my email, and lo and behold, there were dozens of messages from this lovely site. Now, of course, there were some hateful messages that made me very sad. But for every review posted by an evolutionist with a bee in his bonnet, the irony, because God invented bees, there were 3 lovely private messages from other mommies out there thanking me for doing the Lord's work. Wow! I know when the Lord is telling me something, so here is another chapter for all you mommies out there, and all you non-believers spreading hatred. Well, let's see if you aren't converted by the time this story is over. Oh, bless her.
Wow.
When I've just read the next line. When the delicious filling dinner had ended, Harry wiped some last tasty cookie crumbs from the sides of his mouth. He was very full and very tired. Discovering the truth, being saved, and coming to Hogwarts, it had certainly been a long day for this little one.
All he did was fucking eat!
Doing God's work. You look like you could use a good night's sleep, the Reverend's wife commented daintily. Who would you like to move into your dormitory? I would love to, Harry cried cheerfully. He was so excited to become a student here, and he was so grateful for the opportunities the Lord had given him. Sometimes people who have done without are the most grateful. I'm looking forward to marrying Hermione in 3 years. Hermione, why don't you show our newest student to the dormitory? Dumbledore suggested wisely. Lots of wisdom in this.
You guys have beds?
I'd love to, Daddy, Hermione replied obediently with an innocent, girlish smile. Because innocence is a virtue that
and a smile has a sexuality to it.
And got to her feet and smoothed out the skirt of her becoming pink frock. What was it becoming? It was becoming pink? Should I clean the kitchen first? I can take care of that tonight, the Reverend's wife answered indulgently. And I'm happy to do it, I swear. And she was already beginning to clear the elegant porcelain dishes. Because Jesus sets the table, but he cannot clear up. That's... Excuse me. Thank you, Mommy, Hermione shouted gratefully. And she walked over to Harry. Would you please come with me? Harry blushed shyly and got to his feet. His aunt had never...
I'm gonna need a second, hold on. I can come with you, it's just gonna...
He's 11, you can't... Alright. His aunt had never taught him how to talk to pretty girls. She always said that pretty girls were shallow and not very smart, and that a real woman put her career first and didn't care about her looks. Oh, this is not a good message. Does this woman have daughters? Is this the kind of... Now, you want to look pretty for your husband. That's no bad thing, Michelle, and...
And what are you doing writing a book if you think women shouldn't be doing independent things like that? Like,
it's a little bit worrying, I'll say that much. Okay, she explains. A woman taking pride in her appearance is honoring the Lord. Oh, wait, okay, sorry, I missed a bit. A real woman put her career first and didn't care about her looks, but it only took one look at this godly young woman to realize just how wrong that was, because a woman taking pride in her appearance is honoring the Lord, because after all, it is the Lord who gave her a pretty face and nice hair. Taking care of that is important. What? Oh, I didn't mean to honor the Lord today, oh shit. Harry got the feeling that Hermione was as beautiful on the inside as she was on the outside. Teaching good messages.
Yeah.
Ugly people never win.
Yeah.
The two little ones stepped out into the brisk, chilly night, and for a few minutes they were both silent. Harry did not think it was possible for this sweet, demure girl to be as nervous as he was, but going by the silence, perhaps she was a little nervous herself. Aww. After a few minutes, Hermione welcomed shyly. Welcome to Hogwarts. It's a wonderful place, and we are really so glad to have you here. She doesn't have the slightest twinge of her father's southern accent, I have decided. Nor does she have her mother's accent, really. It's fine. It's fine. Harry's face reddened as they crossed an expansive, flowery field. Hogwarts didn't have flowers. Okay. They were going in the direction of a cluster of imposing, stone, academic-looking buildings. They had glasses on. Thank you, he muttered happily. It is beautiful, and it feels very holy. But academic at the same time. It is, Hermione commented enthusiastically, and her chocolate-coloured, carefully curled tresses, not the big bushy hair that Hermione has in the other book, that wizard hair, were bouncing along with her steps. My father is a very godly man, and to spread the word of the Lord is his greatest dream. Truly that is a noble dream, Harry responded gravely with wisdom beyond his few years that he just has today. They walked for a few more minutes in silence. Eventually they reached the end of the lovely green meadow. Green flowers. The boys' dormitory is this way, Hermione exposited knowingly. Always knowingly and wisely. It's always a good sign when you have to put that in your writing constantly, because it's not implicit, because of the characters having character. Okay. And with the innocent, casual affection so often found in children, nothing weird, just to be clear, she grabbed Harry. It's the innocent, childlike.
Room for the Lord. Room for the
Yes.
For the Lord.
Church hugging. She grabbed Harry's hand as she led him around the edifice of classrooms. What does edifice mean? Or is that in Matthew 4:17? Are you okay?
Did you hear that?
No. I just hear the air conditioner.
Something fell.
Ooh.
Sounds like something fell downstairs because there's a bunch.
We've angered the Lord. Where was I? Harry was so nervous he could not think of anything to say. His brain fumbled for the perfect Christian thing to say. You should just say a psalm, and that will impress her. But before he could even manage, yeah, that's how I like to pronounce it. The psalm. Before he could even manage a word, Hermione came to a stop in front of a tall stone tower. This is the boys' dormitory, the devout young woman explained kindly, and she gestured to the heavy oak door beside them. I would show you inside, but I would hate to cause a scandal. You're 11. That shouldn't even be... Oh, who's drilled this into you that you gotta cover up your whore ankles as an 11-year-old? Poor Hermione. I understand, Harry declared graciously. Too many young men these days pressure young women into things undesired and forbidden. Okay, here we go.
Is that really what 2 10-year-olds would be talking about?
It is the mark of a true old-fashioned gentleman to respect the fact that every young woman is another man's future wife. And we all know that it would be a dreadful sin, terrible sin, to bring another man's wife into intimacy. You gotta lock that shit down. You gotta make her your wife. You gotta wife her before you even think about that.
Yeah, but what if you know you're gonna get married to her someday? Does that mean you can come on her wherever you want? You know that she's gonna be your wife, so you know.
I think you have to be married first. But I don't even know. This is. Why does modern culture suddenly treat that as okay simply because he does not have her yet? Man's laws may permit it, but the laws of the Lord are not bound by time. How can... I don't even know where to begin with that one. Man's laws may permit it. That rubs me all the wrong ways. Enough police. The Lord has okayed what I want to do. Hermione moved to push open the imposing large door. All the doors in this are very intimidating, but she struggled with the knob. Because she was a lady. It was quite a heavy door, but Harry was a good, devout Christian now.
But the knob. Oh, let's focus on the knob for a second.
A lot of door porn in this. He would not have a young godly girl struggling to open a door which he was perfectly capable of opening himself. But you can clear the table, that's fine. With the simple faith so often seen in little ones, Harry got down on his knees and lifted his hands skyward and shouted prayerfully. Is that a made-up word? I'm sorry, I'm completely neglecting.
Prayerfully? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Calvinist Christians, by the way, don't support comfy beds. Okay. That's another.
Because why should you have back support? Get down and shouted prayerfully, "Dear Lord, please open these doors and allow me to enter my new home."
With a loud, thunderous boom that echoed through the expansive, beautiful campus, the doors crashed open and caught on fire. Harry stood up piously as Hermione's jaw dropped. Now she knew for certain that this was truly a man, but he's an innocent child with innocent wisdom, a man of the Lord, an 11-year-old man who, with the innocence of a child, knew not to make a move. Fuck it. Harry was about to step inside when Hermione grabbed his arm. He blushed once more. "Wait, Harry," Hermione uttered quickly. "There's something you should know." "What is it?" Harry queried, questioningly. "Yeah, okay." "My father said that dark times are coming." Or Drac times, if you remember My Immortal. Hermione spoke worriedly. Hushed, whispered, intoned, I don't know. "There is a man named Voldemort who wants to destroy all that we stand for." "Darwin! He is pushing an agenda in Congress which will stop us from practicing our faith freely."
Congress?
Yep. "But that is what our founding fathers built this nation for," Harry cried indignantly. "The freedom of religion." "Voldemort doesn't care," Hermione remarked sadly. And she shook her head. "And he's gaining power. The freedom of Christians to practice our faith is disappearing by the day. Soon it will be like it was in Rome." Lovely ladylike tears began to roll down her terrified, delicate face. Just lovely tears. "And I don't like lions." "Voldemort has gone from the most dark, evil wizard of all time to
a congressman."
Yeah. Oh no. Hi, Anthony. Yeah, we're just reading the good Christian version of Harry Potter on fanfiction.net.
Yeah.
Okay. "It will be all right," Harry reassured manfully.
Manfully?
With his chest hair. "We will just need to pray really, really hard. That's why we're here, after all." "You're so brave," Hermione pronounced admiringly, and she wiped the tears from her eyes. She flung her arms around Harry's neck. "I'm going to kill you." "No, thanks for giving me courage." Harry patted her head before departing and entering his new home. It wasn't until the doors had closed behind him that he realized that he did not know where he was supposed to sleep. The tower consisted of an old stone staircase, under the stairs again, isn't it, winding up the steep sacred walls, and there were doors leading into each bedroom off of the stairway corridor. Harry felt very lost for a moment, but a quick prayer showed him the way, of course. Holy GPS. As he collapsed into his bed, very tired from such an eventful day. No Ron in this version, I guess. He thought about the days that were coming. It was truly a good thing that the Lord had called him when he did. So he goes prayerfully to sleep, and that's the end of that chapter, chapter 4.
And that draws a close to our current part. Wow. Something tells me I'm really not going to like what they're doing with Voldemort. Like, something tells me I really am not going to like what they do with Voldemort.
Yeah. Is he going to be Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, there's little... How old... Do you know how old this book is? Something tells me this is like a Bible Belt fanfic from the Obama presidency?
It was last updated on October 2014, and it was published a couple months before that. So I don't even know if it's finished. I'm sorry, I'm just I'm looking at all the chapters. They're called things like Sorting Hats, A Letter at Dinner, and then just chapter 12.
Yes. So 2014 does fall into the Obama presidency.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of things that were said there that, like,
yeah, just little, I don't know.
man's trying to change our
trying to
country.
take away our God-given freedoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna force us to learn about dinosaurs.
Well, at that point, they were worried about losing the Second Amendment, and they were just fakely saying all this weird shit that he was going to do.
Well, this is going to be fun, yeah. Looking forward to reading more chapters of this.
Yeah.
We'll see. When do you want to do this next? A couple days?
Yeah. Let's not iron any date down specifically. People have been asking for other things. We might eventually just do Resident Evil 2, because that we can both be sitting on the bed and Emily can talk to you guys while I play the game.
Oh, the game. Okay. I was like, I need to see the first movie before I.
No.
Did you ever finish playing the Resident Evil remake, the first one?
Yeah, I thought you watched for that too.
I was excited because at the point I dropped in, you hadn't met Lisa Trevor yet, so.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well then, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as we have enjoyed kind of roasting it, but like.
I'm not going out to roast something, but when it needs some freshening up with the reality of things, I'm gonna say something because it's a little fucking silly.
I'm wondering what all these reviews. Okay, so a lot of the first 5 reviews are kind of hateful, as this woman would have said. Not very God-fearing. Cool Librarian says, have you thought of introducing your kids to Narnia? That is a Christian-based fantasy they will like.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, I guess. Aslan is supposed to be an allegory for the Jesus.
Don't mind me, I'm just pissing.
Again, that's fairly subtle and done well, so it can be done.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to reclaim a character that, like, you're really like taking away pieces of what makes that character a certain thing. Like, I'm just gonna make Jason Voorhees. He's a protector of the camp. That's all. He works as a park ranger at Crystal Lake. That's all he is. Just cleans up after people and makes sure that they're safe. That's not Jason Voorhees. What?
Robin Hood, but he doesn't steal. He asks politely.
Yeah. This is the Joker, but all he does is tell jokes. That's why he has his name. He just tells jokes.
And he and Harley Quinn are married, and they have several fucking jester children. What the fuck?
But Harley Quinn is not a businesswoman.
Yeah. And she takes his beatings with good Christian joy. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm not saying this fan fiction glorifies female subservience, although it kind of hints at it, I would say.
Hints?
I mean, so far, most of the women that don't have careers have been kind of washing dishes and shit, but I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on this poor woman because she was just trying to do right by her own kids. But there are just some worrying messages.
We're lucky that God delivered the food, because that would have been another job for the women to do if that didn't happen.
He's not so bad, is he?
All right, guys. So we're gonna break it up into pieces. Apparently, there's only 14 chapters. So if you enjoyed, click the bell. Be reminded of when we do this again, or just subscribe and all that other stuff. Just wait. Be on the lookout. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks to
thanks for joining.
Thanks to what's her name again? What's the author's name?
Grace Ann.
Grace Ann. No hard feelings. We're just we didn't write books, so we didn't even have anything for you to make fun of. So there's that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys once again. We'll see you soon. Be safe out there.
Yes.